Hi again, everybody. Welcome back to class. Now, as I've mentioned before, this essay is going to involve some research. Now, when it comes to research, we're going to break down specifics when we cover using logos, pathos, and ethos within our essay. But right now, what this lesson is going to present to you is going to be the basic information of what research is and how to do it and incorporate it into your essay successfully. This is going to be the start of a few lectures that is going to cover this information. So let's just get started. Now, we have our first 5 academic writing expectations, but then we are led into this 6th one, which is research. Now, in our essay, research is going to be defined as including outside resources to support your thesis. Now, as you will learn in ethos, this helps you to be knowledgeable and establish your credibility as well. So we need to make sure that when it comes to our outside resources, we are searching and finding credible sources. Now, what makes a source credible? A few things. One, if there is an author, then it's going to be more than likely credible. That's because, well, someone was willing to put their name on it. Also, look for a date. Of course, you want something that is more recent, within the past 10 or 15 years. That way we know the information is relevant and, well, they are keeping track of this information. Now, the next thing you are going to want to make sure that you check and look at is, well, using your common sense. Look at the web design. Does it look like a 4-year-old put it together? Don't read it. Check for surface errors. I mean, if it doesn't look academic, kind of, then it's probably not a good source. So make sure you find credible sources. But when it comes to breaking down these sources, how do we start finding them? Where do we go? Well, when it comes to finding credible sources, one place that you can go that you will always find a credible source is going to be Galileo. There's a link in Blackboard for you to access, as well as on our library website. Just sign in with your school information. Now, if Galileo's not your cup of tea, can't really find what you are looking for, then of course you can use Google. Go to Google, find out information there. It's a great source. I mean, it has beat out Ask Jeeves and Yahoo search engines for a reason. So just Google. But be wary that the sources you find are credible. Now, if you want a good combination of the two, there is something out there, because Google's taking over the world, called Google Scholar. Google Scholar, and it'll take you to a database similar to Galileo. The only downfall is you might not have access to all of those resources. Now, when it comes to incorporating research, we have our credible sources, and you can start searching for these by looking at Galileo. But when it comes to incorporating this within our essay, when it comes to research, there is a huge rule that we need to remember and follow to avoid plagiarism. And this is give credit where credit is due. Seriously. Like, if you plagiarize, you're going to fail this paper, and then you might fail the class. Like, just don't do it. Give credit where credit is due. And as you'll learn in the ethos lecture, it builds your ethos. It builds your credibility. So give this credit where it is due. Now, credit where credit is due, what does that look like? In our essays, in, well, MLA format, you need to have 2 things. One, in-text citations. You need to incorporate in-text citations. You'll have a whole separate lesson and supplementary materials covering this information. But your in-text citations might be a direct quote. Maybe you summarize what someone said, Or what a lot of you already do, paraphrase. Now, there is a lecture, there is a PowerPoint that covers this information in detail. So make sure you review it so you know exactly what these are. Now, the last way that you're going to give credit where credit is due is, well, yes, you know, on a works cited page. Now, when it comes to our works cited page, you're going to have what we refer to as entries located on the very last page. Hey, I don't have to apologize for writing so low. So review this information, go over these ideas, rewatch the video, jot down some notes, and send questions my way. But first, before you send those questions, review the documents that are in Blackboard that covers this information in more detail. I am here to help, but you gotta help yourself as well.